acceptance of what is freedom. And literally, it's as simple as having the awareness, loving what was, forgiving. I mean, I think forgiveness, and it's never of another person. It's inside of you, whatever judgments we've held. The illusion of right, wrong, good, bad, like that's just all made up for our little small selves. It's like, no, permission for all of it. Permission for all of it, because it's all for the upliftment and learning of the soul. The soul is here to have experience.
Welcome back to the Daily Surrender. On this week's podcast, I have the privilege of interviewing an absolutely beautiful, radiant soul, a woman that I met a decade ago on a retreat as she was there leading us through yoga and some playful fun and embodiment practices. And I am so excited to have her here because she's one of those rare people who doesn't just talk about joy, she embodies joy. From her really early days as a professional clown, which she did for 15 years, alongside being an artist, a really fun artist who makes art out of seemingly nothing, to now guiding other people through different embodiment practices like yoga and Akashic record readings. Donna has followed a path that is anything but conventional. And through it all, she has remained deeply anchored in love, playfulness, and trust in divine guidance. I invited her on the podcast because she has blessed me in so many ways. I don't even think she realizes how she has impacted my life just by being in her presence. And that alone has a message for all of us. And I want you to receive all that Donna is in today's conversation. So without further ado, I want to introduce Donna to you. Donna, welcome to the podcast. I am so honored and so blessed that you are here with us today.
It's really great to be here. I can't get the smile off my face.
You can't get the smile off your face. I don't know that I've ever seen you or witnessed you without a smile on your face.
That's really funny because I have friends. So if I ever get angry, I'm so mad. And it's like, you're so cute when you're mad.
True, when you're mad. You can't even not smile when you're
because
mad.
It's like, I feel like joy and loving are holding this whole life experience. So even in some of the really sticky, more challenging things, it's still right there. It's right there on the edge. So you can be laughing with tears going down your face, and there's something real about this life experience, which I think is such a gift that our soul is just here to experience. Full stop.
Oh my goodness. You just jumped right into it. You did. I mean, Donna, you're somebody who really, truly embodies joy and love and laughter and fun. And you can feel it when you're in your presence. I met you over 10 years ago when I was going to different retreats through the School of Applied Functional Medicine. And you always have been a part of the School of Applied Functional Medicine's special events and retreats, because you would bring the joy and the laughter and the levity. You would guide us in yoga, but that wasn't it. It was really your anchoring presence, and you made an impact on me. And yeah, I would love to hear how you describe even the work that you do in the world, because I don't even look at, I threw like fun balloons. That's very Donna. That's very you, because you you've created this life, and anyone who is watching on video on YouTube, you can even see behind Donna, like this is her office, but you've created this life that's super eclectic, that brings together your artistic nature, your skills as an artist, your joyous childlike wonder, your spirituality, yoga. Yeah. So share with us what it is that you're bringing into the world.
Wow, that's a whew.
Hmm.
Um,
Mm.
yeah. Well, I love life. I mean, yeah, my company is I am living, loving, laughing, and make life pretty, right? But what holds it all is the I am. And I am not sure how or when, but I think I've always, since I was young, looked at life a little bit upside down and inside out. Sometimes people could maybe take a glimpse at me and think, oh, yeah, she's bypassing, blah, blah, blah. No, no, but I do see the blessing in everything, like everything. I like the tiniest flower. I mean, I will find the flower growing out of a pile of shit and be like, okay, there it is. Look. So it's a noticing. And when I started I became a yoga teacher, not to find God or spirit, but to get in my body because I was so I was like, oh no, I need to ground here. So there's something in me that's like a compass that I cannot explain with words, maybe like a knowing, and I have always followed it. My first marriage was on a backgammon bet. You lose, you go here. Okay. You know, when I met my husband, it was a quick, and he knew and I knew and we didn't know. And so I have followed something that is unnameable, and I would call it source, God, my soul. It wasn't always easy, yet I trusted it 100%. And to the tune of having my children at home, when the midwife interviewed me and said, where are you most comfortable? I said, in my home. She said, oh, but this is a letting go. And literally having a moment of let go and let God, because my first birth was really challenging. And that was a great teacher because I had to trust so much. And the whole moment hung in space. And when that little baby made a sound and we knew he was okay, it was just like, oh, I'm not in charge. And even with my children, I love them. I adore them. They're adults now. But I never felt like they were mine. I felt like I'm here to guide them and let them live whatever their soul is living. So there's some bigger thing that I've seen. And when I became a professional clown when my kids were little, which was a random jobs always seemed to find me. Before my kids, I was an artist and I didn't want them in a booth in a playpen. Didn't seem like the best life. So I met a clown, designed some t-shirt for her. And then she's like, would you want to do this? I was like, oh. So I had a little mentorship. Art is my thing, so it's very easy to paint faces. And it was really a short time before I had a really big business as Scribbles the Clown um, in Boca Raton, Florida, for but maybe 15 years. While many of my friends at the time were climbing corporate ladders, that was my job, to show up with the children. And I got to be part of amazing families' lives, but I always got to look through the eyes of the children. Like it didn't matter to me what the adults were doing or what they wanted or what they were planning. My job was to be with them and for them to have a great time. And so, yeah, it changed a lot and it kept me like in the joy, with my kids. Like it kept, so that's very interesting. And then somewhere along there, that's when I also started teaching yoga. So I had these two very different yet similar experiences because with yoga, I saw, oh, these are the adults coming back because children are very present. If a child has two toys and you have something that they want better, they will drop that one thing like a hot potato and take they're in the moment. They're in the moment. And so the idea of adults wanting that was really appealing to me of like, oh, how do we create that? Somewhere also in there, again, an inner knowing.
Knowing.
Yeah. Um, we decided to move our family to North Carolina. People were like, wow, you guys are brave. We had businesses. And we were like, no, it just seemed on purpose. So we followed that. Everything is right there. So I was exposed to my spiritual teacher 30 years ago. I became a minister in the movement of spiritual inner awareness. And it's just that, it's inner. I went to some event. I didn't know who it was, didn't know what the thing, it just all happened. I was like, oh, my soul was like a little bell. Oh, this is for me. And so that has me as a meditator for 30 plus years, long time, but a lot of quiet. And I have a big imagination, so I had a really busy mind. And I just was like, well, I'll just sit and see. And over time, I see that that's where the magic is. A little time out from this busy world that I love, loving, living love and loving just seem like the most important thing that we're here to do. And there's going to be a whole bunch of ways we can do it. So I also get to perform wedding ceremonies as a minister, one of my super favorite things ever. And having done them on mountaintops and in rivers and other whatever, it's like what I see is when people come together with loving at the center, like they're looking in the same direction, sharing time with one another. Like that's really it. So I know I hear people say the work and it's hard and it's challenging. My husband and I, we've been married 30, 35 years. We kind of go like, oh, this is what we're doing? Like it's a pinch. Like we just feel this love. We don't agree on things, but there's this loving that I feel like it falls in the category of if you can't see, I'll use myself. So if I can't see that God is in every single speck of everything, then my God is too small.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Mm.
And I think of love the same way. There's emotional, romantical, blah, blah, blah. That's nice. No, no, no. I'm going, can I love you? Can this love that comes through me? Because it's not me. There's Donna, the personality, the small ego self, like blah di da. But it's like, no, 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 no. This is the whole. We're made of the same stuff. So for me in the world, so, and when with my business, with anything that I get to do, it's like, oh, I see the love, the God that is you expressing as you. And I see that that's in all of us. And that feels like the biggest, most sacred gift of living on this planet. It's like we get to share. Like we don't even breathe ourselves. We are not in charge. We can receive it and then we can let it go and just, oh, yeah. Yesterday, my niece had a baby and she's tiny. And yesterday I got to meet her. She's 3 months and only 12 pounds. So I was holding her like in the crook of my arm while she was resting. And I thought when I dropped everything and just was tuning into her little breath, the preciousness of her teeny tiny little fingers, and just breathing myself and going, oh, we're two beings of one source. And yeah, when it's this precious, innocent, beautiful baby, that's easy. But what about when it's the person that you disagree with? It's like, no, there too. So something in me knows that. And, I'm down for a tantrum every now and then and not liking it. But acceptance. It's like
Mm.
acceptance of what is freedom.
It's freedom. Donna,
Yeah.
I actually would love to hear you share a little bit more about that with maybe a specific example. You live near Asheville,
Yes.
and so your whole area and the area that
Oh,
you live, the area that you love, was hit so hard by the hurricane. Well, it's over a year now, and you've lived through the devastation of that, the rebuilding of that, the healing. And one of the things that I stood witness to was so beautiful. And it was you putting little messages on Facebook when you could even get Wi-Fi, right? When you had no electricity and you couldn't take a shower in your house, and you would step outside and just share beautiful messages of hope with people because it was what you were receiving. And, we know that hope is not something that we need to get and we're rubbing the genie bottle. It's something that we're dropping into. It's the truth that we're never, ever, ever alone. And so what you would share with people was that you were modeling that for people. So yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting because, yes, a tree fell on my house. So it was very up close and personal. And in it, I saw the blessings. I saw people helping people. And what I also saw, because of the way our media works, it can be really scary and really devastating. And so I chose to get on for people to see in a real neighborhood. I was in my bedroom, I was chanting and holding the light because that's what I knew to do. And I literally watched some very, very big trees fall. One fell on my driveway, didn't hit the car there, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, you're watching it. But I thought it wouldn't be helpful to come from fear. It would be more helpful to know whatever's happening is happening. So in the world, because people are concerned, and I did start sharing, there was a family, 3 families with little kids, all under the age of 5, and they made a hub with one generator and all the kids and the parents doing the best they can. So I was like, well, what could I do? So I was like reading time and art projects because the kids didn't know it was warm. They were outside and it felt like, oh, this is a good use for me. So I looked for where can I be of service and then what do others need? And also others were helping us. So I saw all these humans again in the oneness, and we had a tarp on our house. I don't think our house got really repaired all the way until spring. It was a long time. It made me love where I live even more. So we live in a small town called Weaverville, and has a town feel. We were the last ones on the block. There were like 12 houses that went a week longer with no electric. So I would just take my basket of my electronics and go plug them in someone's garage for a minute. But the principal of the elementary school. She went out and she checked on every single family. Like she went out to check on every single family because she cared. And when I see that inside of me, I go, oh my gosh, humanity is amazing. And so I had those experiences. And even when the tree fell on my house, we took a walk after the storm to just make sure everyone was okay. And we walked around the block just checking in with everyone. And when I got back to the top of my street, I was like, well, at least no trees are on our houses. And my friend was like, while you were gone, a tree fell on your house. And I remember this sort of surreal, and I walked up to it. And this was a beautiful white oak that I loved. And I saw it filling my patio because literally it was a tree house now. And I walked through and I was like, oh, and it went over our whole roof. It took off parts of the chimney and then it went down over my lower deck. So that night, my husband and I got our chairs and we just sat under the tree on our deck because it was a few days before they could come and move it away. And even that, these ginormous trucks that I'd never seen, they had to piece by piece lift this tree over a house. It was like an event. And I was like, this is so cool. So I just saw everything as, wow, we didn't know this was going to happen. And there were places here that were hit hard. So my other thing that occurred to me, and all this was in real time, as soon as a lot of the farmers lost the land, and we have so many amazing farmers here, as soon as that first farmer's market or that first thing could happen, you bet any of my resources were going to go there and buy food from them and give whatever way I could. There was that level of, oh yeah, champion for them. How can we? What can we do? And people show up like that. So, and I'm sure I could have put a different spin on it, but it didn't occur to me other than to go, this is what happened. And
what's next?
yeah, it's like, what's for me to do now? And we had amazing people that came forward to support us with the rebuilding of our home and like all the things. Yeah, it's like a life thing you don't plan. And I do think that when I drove through the town a little bit north of us, it gave me some idea of how the Grand Canyon was made because when the waters rise and they cut out land, I'd never seen that before. It woke me up to the magnificence and power of nature.
Which is creation. And creation, we see the
Yeah.
creator in creation.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. So we're here, but this has been going on way longer than we have. And for me, if I don't like it, well, then I'm setting myself up for disappointment and frustration energetically closing. And why would I want to do that in a time where it would be even more helpful to be open to what's here? So, yeah, and I cried. I mean, the trees, it was
Yeah.
very, I mean, in that. And then I remember someone wrote a beautiful poem when the trees spoke to her and said, there's some things changing on our planet, and we did this for you. Like, we're sacrificing, the elder trees sacrifice themselves for us. Because I think we're part of all that. It's all the same. I also am remembering my my stepdad, who's been with me since I was 18. He died of cancer last year, and he did it with a lot of grace. He was so caring to my mom to the very end. But I remember kind of knowing that me just being in the room, loving, and just being there was like, that's enough. So I see it all the time with being. I think humans can get caught up in what should I do? What is mine to do? What's your big purpose? What's your, sure, that's lovely. And I think that being ourselves, this unique form or flavor of God, is what each of us is here to do, however we do it. And not even being tied to, because it looked that way last year, that it's going to look this way now. I mean, we get caught up. And I guess because of my other work, which is, again, it was a blessing. I get to work with the Akashic Records with other people. I've been doing that for, I don't know, maybe 15 years. But I'm sitting with people so much in all the things. And if I have to see it, I think we do that thing that we need to learn, right? But if I have to be the one that's being a channel for the beings of light and the masters and teachers of whatever human I'm sitting with, how many times again and again do I see and hear like, you're perfect, you're divine, this is okay. And a lot of times when people get caught up, innocent misunderstanding, because maybe someone saw what they thought was God in a parent and something went a little amok, and then they were trying to figure out, how does the world work? So when we're really little, and then at some point it's like, oh, that's not working. And literally, it's as simple as having the awareness, loving what was, forgiveness. And it's never of another person, it's inside of you, whatever judgments we've held. So I've done a lot of that, like just any judgments, and then just letting whatever is be.
Yeah. It's inside, right? And
Yeah.
when we can
Yeah.
go back inward, because the kingdom is within,
Yeah.
that's where we're re-entering into union. And that union is happening in our consciousness. So
Yeah.
there's never ever separation. There's no separation.
No,
None.
that's our big illusion.
Yeah,
The
it's
whole the illusion of right, wrong, good, bad, like that's
yeah.
just all made up. Our little small selves that
Yes.
are going, okay, well, if I do this, that seems good. I should try that. Like, and it's like, no, permission for all of it. Permission for all of it, because it's all for the upliftment and learning of the soul. The soul is here to have experience. When I was a little girl, my friend's dad used to say, when you were born, was it written in the sky that it was just going to be all perfect and rainbows? I'm like, oh, now that you mention it.
Mhm.
No, but can I bring that forward? And I also know, for my experience as an artist, because I create art, something from nothing, I'm not doing that. I'm in the way of it, and it's going to come through,
Yeah.
and I'm going to have whatever's in my hand to make something. And I think we're all that. Maybe like partly our soul here experiencing it. It's like God knowing itself, like to know itself, to know, and we get to create.
We get to create.
We get to.
Yeah, we get to. And it becomes so much easier. It flows when we drop the resistance and we get out of our head and we receive what we are. It's this receiving of, as you said in the beginning, the I am, I am that I am. And God, our God, who is spirit and undividable, bigger than our human minds can ever imagine, ever, ever, ever. But like you, I'm always seeking to see the bigness everywhere, and it's just continuously expanding. But that God spirit personalizes and individualizes himself in each and every one of us. So when we're out of the human mind trying to control and figure it all out, and we drop back into presence, then we open up ourselves as vessels for the very unique expression of the divine through us. Your art is a unique expression of God, right? And it's God personalized in you. So you are the only you that exists. And yet there's oneness. That same God spirit that's in you is in me and everybody else.
I think this is why I love art, as I think anyone that has anything that, like, get your art out in the world, because I do think for me, I mean, when I go to a gallery or when I go to see art or be with artists or musicians or whatever that was, I feel and can touch into, like, oh, that space from which that was created that touches me, and not the experience of the artist, that's theirs, but it's like color has vibration, sound has vibration, silence has vibration. We are vibrational beings of pure light at our core. That's the way I see it. And when we can experience that, that's why I think when groups of people come together, there's like, oh, we're in the vibration of and holding toward that. Like, I believe right now, you and I having this conversation is adding light to the planet from this one conversation, right? Show up, permission, be yourself. I remember that one of those first times that we met, and you were sitting, I was the driver on one of those trips, and there was a lot of chatter. There's a lot of things happening. And I remember looking over at you, and what I saw or perceived was like overwhelmed, where there was just like so much and whatever was happening. And I just remember looking and thinking, oh, it's okay. I don't even think there were words exchanged, but there was something.
You put
And
your
then,
hand on my head, and I was
oh,
getting a splitting headache. And your hand on my head
mm,
immediately started to bring ease and calm, and I could feel the tension start to melt. No words, just
yeah,
you seeing me, recognizing, and putting your hand on my head. And that's the frequency right there that
yeah,
helps me to come.
yeah. It's funny because I'm such a creative too. I've gone to business school to learn a few things. And, I've had coaches and things, and it's like I can always tell when I'm getting into the neck up, because as soon as I get there, I feel this wild confusion, because it's like there's so much, and I'm like, wait, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. And I've had to fire people and go, yeah, if not speaking to the light and the loving isn't going to move me forward, this just isn't going to work. And I'm just going to go do it my way anyway, because there's a realness, a genuineness to who we're being. And I do love people. Some people love animals. I love animals, lovely, but I do love, yeah, I do love the being human, as frustrating as it can be with all of the things, but I do love it. I'm also aware. So I've been able to help bring babies into the world as an unofficial doula. I get to do weddings, but I've also been with several people that were leaving this planet. And I would say that that is as magnificent and beautiful as one coming in, like a dissolving to this form, and a quietness and a oneness. I don't have the words, but I felt an honor.
I know exactly what you're describing. You're on holy ground. The
Yeah,
veil is so thin, so
yeah,
thin. And
yeah,
as they take their last breath here in this earthly experience,
yeah,
it's you witness their first breath in
yeah,
eternity. And the soul is eternal. There's no death. There's no
yeah,
death at all. And
yeah.
it's sacred. It's
Yeah. I
holy.
I
It's
kind of feel like
beautiful.
I feel like with the meditation practice, in a way, I close my eyes to this world for a bit of time every day as my thank you. I just want to be in the presence of God without all the distractions. But I'm guessing, like, oh, one day you just won't open your eyes.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that level of detachment. Like
Mhm.
when the great teachers speak of it, I love that Rumi quote, beyond right doing and wrong doing, there's a field, and I'll meet you there. And I feel like when we can just take a little more space for ourselves, I think it starts because it can only come from the capacity that we have in us. Then we get to experience with others because every relationship is happening within our own consciousness. So I'm not actually in a relationship with something outside of me. The relationship is inside. If you look at families, same parents, the different siblings, you can see that each sibling will have a different relationship with that same parent. How's that? I don't think we can ever know really what's going on in someone else's consciousness, but we can be present with them and feel I'm thinking about when my boys were teenagers and you go through those really challenging times where there was a period with one of mine that's like, yeah, he's not gonna talk to me, so I'm just gonna deflect and let him have that with my husband. And it's a little bit like heartbreaking, like, oh my God, and I remember going, oh no, this is just an iteration of him and his own becoming. Or when my boys got married, I moved to a position that was a little different. I always look at them now that they're adults, and when we're together, I go, who are you? I want to know, what do you dream about? What do you wonder? How do you feel about different things? It doesn't matter to me what my beliefs are, or like that's just my thinking, but just to be with them and go, oh, good humans,
Mm.
you
Can you
know,
share a
and
little bit more about that? I'm in the season of with my children where they're all young adults.
yeah,
And my son is engaged. So
yeah,
that's, I mean, as a mom, you have boys, and I have the two girls and one son, but if there's even, I think, mother son too, that changes the dynamic of the relationship, right?
yeah,
And I can feel myself being very invited to let go, let go, let go.
yeah,
And there's a little bit of grief that will show up, but that's only because I've loved being his mother in the way that I've been his mother up until now.
yeah.
And that's changing. So I would love to hear from you wisdom on that because I want to be a mother who stands witness to the glory of God inside of my children, to who they are as unique expressions of God as individuals, and not get in the way, right, with any of my agenda. And that can be sticky for some of us mothers.
So within the Akashic Records, there's some beautiful forgiveness prayers. And as you're speaking, what comes to mind, and this is so simple, but if you put a hand on your heart and it's this simple, I forgive myself for judging myself, for projecting my illusions onto my son. Because sometimes as a parent, we might think that we know what's best, or we might look and think, yeah, and you let the tears come, right? Because it's like they're held. And when we can really stand there and really neutrally, it takes practice. I did something, so in my I have a pretty big laundry room, and I have all the pictures of the kids because it's just sort of joy, and they each had their own board from when they were little, like whatever. And at one point it occurred to me, this is not who they are now. So I took the boards down and I have one small one for each of them, and then I celebrated with photos of them and their others and their marriages and their wives, because I'm not seeing them as the little boy. I'm not relating to them as, oh, remember when? No, now. And both my boys have strong personalities, and I remember helping one of them move. And I'm good with space and moving, and I'm a good helper. And they said that and invited me to help move. I get into the house and I was like, okay, well, would you like me to put things away? Like, how do you? And I watched my son go, well, you need to ask her what she wants. And I was like, oh, right. Of course. Oh, and she was like, yeah, I don't really care. I think you're very more organized. Like, do the thing. But it was me actually saying, how can I be of support? What do you need? And David and I have this kind of a live by, which to me works with adult children too, is if they ask for help, we will be there 100%. We don't decide what help they need. We just don't. Little kids all day long. And then to start to notice how they're honoring each other. What I found in that is there's a level of trust and beautiful, compassionate relationships that I get to have with both of my boys and their wives because I'm not, even when things get a little sticky, I just kind of like, okay, I'm going to keep loving them. And I don't know what is going to be the alchemy and what is it that's making them more of who they are. I don't have their I don't have that. And it's funny because my kids were like Akashic Records. They just look at me and go, Mom, don't hold a knife. Don't have a camp. They make fun of me all the time. And I'm fine with that. But when I'm with them, I see them for who they are and I appreciate that they're good humans. So if there's a way for you of letting go, like I think we all do it different. I think even free form writing is a beautiful tool when things get kind of caught up in me. I will write, I'll set a timer, like 30 minutes. I'll writing, it's my time with God. I have an intention and I just let it come. And then when I'm done, I burn the papers and I just kind of like, oh, sometimes things just have to come out.
I appreciate that. I'm very much a free form writer,
Yeah.
and it's how I get it up and out. And in many ways, it's a prayer that's coming out of me, and it is part of my letting go. And in that letting go, I'm then affirming the I am,
Yeah.
right? And
And whenever we let go, we can see more because to me, it's like we
yes.
have blinders. And then
Mhm.
as soon as we lift our awareness or we go up and we can look, it's like, oh, that's not what I thought at all. Oh, that. And so, yeah, and I do think especially with sons, I think we just love and adore them, right? And then they're going to be the men that they're going to be. They're going to be the men. And it's like, oh, watch them.
Yes, yes. When they get married,
Yeah.
that woman that becomes their partner, and she becomes the number one woman in their life.
Yeah.
And
And if we have been examples, I guess what I see with my boys is they have strong relationships and they are kind and they show up. And my God, how beautiful if we can see young people in relationships where they're really seeing each other and holding that in their
in
way,
their
not
way,
my
and
way, not my way.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, there's another thing to surrender, right? It's like
Well, I
not
love them.
my
That is
way.
that is love them where they are as they are, and it's like, oh yeah, that. And I don't I take it lightly because I'll catch myself and be like, I can remember a couple times feeling like, oh, little poor me left out, na na na,
Mhm,
and then it's like, oh, look at you, you're so silly, like, oh, it's okay,
mhm, mhm,
and then I will say, both my boys have been married for I don't know 5 or 6 years, I guess, and it's an honor when my daughters-in-law are going to go do something and invite me along. I'm like,
mhm,
ooh, I would love to, but
mhm,
I never expect it because I see
mhm,
that as a parent, our role, it's like we're on the outside
mhm,
holding that like kind of space. Like they're going to
mhm.
come to this home and they're going to make their own plans. We'll
Yeah.
probably buy the dinner. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
but it's like you show up and go, oh, what are they wanting? And I completely surrender because come from an Italian family and there's a little bit of that matriarchy. You will show up, you will do this, you would, da, da, da. And I did not. I'm like, no, that gives freedom for all of us if I just am in relationship with them, whatever it
In
looks
relationship, and what I'm hearing is that you release expectation,
like. Zero expectations.
right? And so
Zero.
it's releasing expectation in all areas of life,
Yeah, like
and in
One Christmas we had tacos because they were like,
mm,
"Let's just have tacos." I'm like, "Sure, okay."
mm,
Like, you know what I mean? You just go like, "Oh, because we're all together. That's fine." It doesn't. Nothing matters. What matters at the
mm,
end of the day, right, Jen? What matters with our kids? The loving.
yeah, love, love.
That's it. That's it.
Donna, can you actually speak a little bit more to releasing expectations of so many different things in life?
Yeah.
Because I can see how the releasing of the expectation becomes that path to being able to be, you're present and you're being and you're receiving what is.
Yeah, so I was a pretty big rule follower when I was younger. In fact, I think my mom has a joke that I would always say, but the teacher said, and I would always, try to do things like, oh, whatever. And I think it was in one of my boot camp yoga teacher trainings with Baron Baptiste a long time ago. Lovely. That was an awakening for me. When I heard disappointment is the shadow of expectation. So I saw very clearly that if I'm feeling disappointed, I did that. And would you rather be right or free? Those two things became guiding lights with my kids, with raising the kids, because they were around teenagers around that time. And it was funny because I was walking with my son. He might have been 20 or something, and we were walking. He had traveled across the country, and I was probably sharing something. And he goes, "Oh, Mom, you sound disappointed. So what was it that you were expecting?" And it was like, oh, right, right. But so whenever I notice or I have a sense of that, I realize I'm setting it up with an expectation, and it could be very slippery and small. So the more altitude we get, I think the more slippery. So you have to just notice. So my boys had a friend, my oldest had a friend in high school, and he was one of those more troubled kids. And his mom died of cancer. And I was with her a day or two before she died. And she asked me if I would look after him. That's kind of a big thing. And a lot of stuff went down. There was a lot of turmoil within that family. And so I really did love him, but he went through some big addiction things. And I saw, and it was so, so challenging. But I so wanted like him to wake up because I saw his beauty. I saw his light, even though he couldn't, and saw that he had to do this his way. I literally at one point had to turn him away and say, "I can't help. You got to walk. You got to go." And he went through a lot. And now as an adult, I've run into him and he's doing well, but like to see the light, but he had to do that. I didn't know his path. It's freedom to let each person have their experiences and whatever learning comes with them. And I guess it leads back to if there's however many billion people on this planet, there are that many perfect ways back into the heart of God.
Trusting in that, I know for me, has brought me a lot of peace, and it's helped me to let go, let go, let go. Because as a human, sometimes I try and play God, right? Oops.
Another one of our small misunderstandings. Oh, that's right. How many times have I said in a session, "Oh, and so you think that God took the day off and said, "Oh, excuse me, Jen, I'll need you to handle that
Yes.
today because I'm on break."
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. My ego, like my egoic mind is like, "Oh, nope, I'm God today." And I run on in, and that's been part of my own journey, and all of it has been for me. Everything in my life that had me being a chronic people pleaser, having no boundaries, thinking that it was my job to rescue everyone around me, mother everyone around
Exhausting.
me. It was so exhausting. And actually at the beginning, quite a few of the years that you knew me, I was still in that. And then the career that I chose to step into in coaching and health coaching, in a way, it was just an extension of me playing God. I'm like, oh, great. I can fix people. I know all the protocols. Let me just learn more. And after a while, thank goodness, I couldn't do it anymore. So, my soul was just begging me to please slow down, Jen. Go inward, not outward, inward, not outward. And my body was speaking, because our bodies are so divinely created that they signal us when we're out of alignment with our divine design. So it's been quite a journey and a practice, and it's a daily practice for me wait a second, we're stepping back into playing God again. And that isn't your job. It's what you're being asked, Jen, is to trust, right? It's trusting God in me, God in someone else. And they're on their own soul's journey, as you so beautifully said. And I can't get in the way. I'm getting in the way, right? I am. And if they're in pain and they're struggling and they're suffering, perhaps that's for them, right?
And I think there's an innate wisdom because we know. I mean, I'm not going to watch someone drown if I know how to
Right.
swim and I can go get them. I'm not going to go,
Yeah.
oh, that's your pain. I don't know how to play for you. I mean,
I
God,
love that example.
the
Yes.
angels show up as the
Yes.
strangers that walk by, right? Like, and go,
Hmm.
oh, wait, here. Or I notice this with my kids too. And within my family, like, they might not hear what I'm saying, but if there's something for them, it's going to come in some other door, some other way. And it'll be like, oh, because that's the way they can hear it. And so that's again trusting,
Yes.
like you said, like, oh, and I also would say, as you say that, it's not even something we have to do because the awareness is enough.
It is. Oh, absolutely. It is. It's the awareness because the
Because as soon as you
awareness.
see it, it's not dark. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to have a very interesting relationship with fear. I don't even
Mm,
know where that came from, like to the degree where it could like literally stop me in my tracks, not be able to
mm,
speak. And I remember being in my yoga teacher training in Montana, and they have this thing called the magic carpet, and you have to teach for 10 minutes. They're going to film you, and then you're going to get feedback. Well, somewhere in there, I got terrified. And when I stood up to teach, I knew how to do this. Words would not come out of my mouth. Literally, I was like, I might be passing out. So my teacher got off the mat, put his hand on me, and just feeling like someone like, oh, I was able to come back in. He started whispering what I was to say. And then what occurred from that was it was like I wanted to do it so right that I had this little shame sandwich with joy and loving, and then whatever I didn't want to be exposed, all hidden. And it felt like this sort of opening, and it was like, oh. And then once you see it, you go, oh, that's something that it's a habit, it's a pattern, it's something, I don't know. I started when I was really young because I was kind of shy and would get into roles, in school, and I didn't really want to do it. And so I don't know. So I was like, oh, that's not actually real. Oh, so to me, when we have the awareness of something that we're familiar with, right? What is a thought? I mean, it's all thought. And then a habit, a belief, a pattern. And then when you see it, you're like, oh, that. Huh. Interesting. I'm choosing that. And maybe not. Maybe I won't. Without making it good, bad, right, wrong.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, watch me. Oh, and so it's almost like being the observer, right? We're in this, but we're not this. And then we're the one looking through the eyes like, oh, that, which is why I think, conversations like the one we're having,
Yeah.
if we were listening, right, we're going to hear something that will ring true for us. And why not every teacher is for everyone, because
Yes.
we can hear our soul. It's like a tuning fork to the ones that we are to learn from, or the
Yeah.
ones that we work with or teach. Back in doing those retreats for the School of Applied Functional Medicine, which, I love the work that everyone does. But I remember that very first one going, are my mitochondria okay? Because I had never had like any like, and everyone started cracking up. They're like, are you sleeping? Are you like, like, okay, yeah, I think you're good. But I will also go through the lens of functional medicine. I'm at a level, I call age levels because it just seems more fun. But I'm heading to level 64. But there are things that I can know that I don't know that are helpful for me to learn and then play in the realm of, yeah, I have a physical body. What am I doing with it? But I do see that vitamin joy is such a big, because when people are really stressed out, that stress is just, yeah. And
It becomes toxic.
yeah.
It
And I
really
think
does.
that's one of the things for me, like when I'm making art, it's really very elementary. I don't have any actual proper education or whatever, but I know that it's somehow joy coming out and I'm good with it. I'm like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. So however we express it, when a kid makes you a picture and they hand it to you with all their love, and it's like, what if we showed up like that when we were being with other adult humans? With all our love, like, hey, I made you this. I design note cards and stickers and magnets and art, whatever. But whenever I'm doing it, I just feel like, oh, yay, here. And I get in trouble because I love to give stuff away. Like, this is a business. Well, yeah, but I love generosity. Like, that's the fun of it. So I think when we are in the flow of that, yeah, expectation falls away. There's a natural abundance to being alive. Like abundance is our birthright, our nature, and we get to just go back there, live there, come from there.
I love that so much because when we let go and we're letting go of the expectation and we're being, and what we're really doing is trusting that everything that we need, we have full access to, full access. If you're prompted to give away some of your art, there's something that you are receiving that is abundant and for you. And we don't need to always define what it is that we need.
Right. And you just know. It's following the knowing. It's funny, when I think of let go and let God, I think of like acceptance and patience. Things happen in divine timing. And when we put our timeline on things, we get disappointed. You know, when we've been at something for a really long time thinking, well, this should have, well, what if it's just going to take 10 more years and you just didn't know that because you're not all knowing. Oh, well, I keep showing up to it because I really want to. And when I decide it's time to not do that, I'll know. We are trustworthy.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. It's actually a beautiful way to be wrapping up our conversation here. I
Mm,
could talk to you about this all day. I have a question for you,
yeah.
for our listeners. If
Okay.
someone who's listening feels disconnected from joy or wonder, where is a really simple place that they could start, Donna?
I would say I wonder is a really good place to start to connect to wonder, because when we open up to the infinite creative potential, it's sort of like a game. Like, I wonder how many stars are in the sky. I wonder how an acorn makes an oak tree. I wonder, like, it's a very simple, like, actually start to notice things without naming them. And can you see that every single thing? So I have this little chapstick. This was nothing. Someone had the idea to put this into form so that we could use it. Every single thing is a miracle. And then with joy, I wouldn't look at it as some outward ginormous expression of a party and joy. I would look at it as, can you sense somewhere inside like an effervescence of light, a spark of light that's just within you, even if it's just a tiny glimmer, like that you're made of it and you don't have to do anything different. You are perfect and whole exactly as you are right now in this moment.
Your thoughts of what it should look like and allow the loving.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
like we have a mind that thinks. That's true.
yes, me too.
That's it. That's okay. It has a bunch of
Mhm,
thoughts. Some of them aren't even ours.
mhm,
They're just passing through. And
mhm.
so, oh, right. Oh, the loving. So I can love myself through it all. Through it all.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you
Mm.
so much for that, Donna. I received that.
Thank you. What a fun. This is so fun. So
It's fun.
thank you for reaching out.
I'm
It's like, thank
mm,
you. Mm.
I feel just nourished, and I feel soul expansion from just receiving this beautiful light and wisdom that flows through you.
And I want to
Mhm.
say, as we are on camera seeing each other, I see you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for seeing me before I could even see myself, Donna. That day
Mhm.
in the van, gosh, so many years ago, I was stepping out. I was certainly was stepping out and following a calling in my life, and I was so stuck in my head in so many ways because I had a lot of those constructs that you see when you do sessions with people when you're doing the Akashic Records and you're seeing you're seeing the soul, right? And the journey that they go on. And I had a lot of things that were essentially clouding the windows of my soul. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And I've been so beautifully blessed and guided on my path, and meeting people like you who reflect God's light. It's a reflection of God's light. And what I see this reflection of light like a reverberation. So the light that comes from you is it's it's hitting the light in me and it's like illuminating it a little bit
It's like we're
more.
all diamonds made of light. Like we're all
Yeah.
like made of light and the light refracts in and it's like in
Mhm.
different ways. And
Mhm.
so when I wake up in the morning,
Mhm.
my husband and I, we look at each other and we go, "Yay, God, it's another day."
Oh, that's waking up with gratitude. So immediately you are amplifying the light. You're amplifying good.
And it's like it
And
doesn't matter what's happening. It's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I mean, you guys, we go to sleep. What the heck is that? We don't even know." And then we
Mm-hmm.
just pop our eyes open.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And we forget to celebrate all that is good. And we can be living through excruciating trial. One of my dearest friends right now, her mother on Friday had a tragic accident. She was getting her mail and somebody in another car had some sort of medical incident where they passed out and the car came full force and hit her mom head on. It is an absolute miracle she's even alive. She has so many injuries to her body in, I mean, mind-blowing ways that she's here. And as my girlfriend is walking through this, being by her mother's side and praying, I mean, for healing, of course, and it's thy will be done. It's what I'm seeing and we're doing and receiving is we're celebrating these miracles. Celebrating the miracle that she played her a song this morning and she opened her eyes for the first time and she had
Mhm.
little tears in her eyes. Celebrating the miracle that my girlfriend slept through the night last night for the first time in days. Celebrating that her mom's body is it's already dropping some of this inflammation from this trauma. And we could be focused on all the things that are wrong, right, in life, no matter what it is. But
Yeah.
when we focus on that, that becomes what we amplify. And then
Yeah.
that
Where we
becomes our
where
experience.
we put our attention. So
Mhm.
I see that we have this beautiful gift of a mind, our personal, right? We have this gift of thought, and where we put our attention and our focus, the energy follows.
Yes.
And and it's not to say we have to bear down and do it. It's like,
Mhm.
no, 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 but you can tell
Mhm.
where you're putting your energy. So I feel like we're sitting in the feeling of our thinking,
Mm. That's
right? Like
powerful.
right, like, so I have a
Mhm.
dog that I love, love, loved, and when
Mm.
he died, I remember like, oh, I mean, he was our best dog. I'm like,
Mm.
I can think of him and
Mm.
have all this like joy, and I can think of him and feel really sad
Yeah.
because I'm sitting in whatever is happening in there. So it's also it's nice to notice that. And then you can just let it be, those Beatles. All we need is love, let it
Let it
be. And they
be.
knew something.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I
Oh,
love it. I love it.
oh,
Donna, thank you. Thank you for this absolutely beautiful conversation. Thank you for
thank
being
you.
you and who you are in this world and for radiating light out into this world in all of your unique ways. I love that you continue to just be you, eclectic and expressive and artistic and fun and joyful. Where can people find you? I'll put all the links in my show notes here.
So I have two websites. One is kind of
Mm.
like a store, and it's
Mhm.
called
Mhm.
makelifepretty.co. And then the other one that has all the rest of stuff is iamlivinglovinglaughing.com. I have a shop, Sticker Joy, a sticker mule and Sticker Joy. I mean,
Mhm.
there's like ways, but that would be the best way to contact me.
Mm.
And also, I want to say this because it feels really important to
Mm.
whoever is listening.
Mm.
While we may never meet, I'm really thankful that you are you exactly as you are and that you are a blessing on this planet. And I mean that from the place in me that knows that place in you.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Donna.
All
Thank
right.
you. As we wrap up the conversation with Donna today, what I'm really taking with me is that surrender in life does not have to be so serious all the time. Donna's journey from being a professional clown to embodying joy and presence and the way that she moves through the world in so many unique ways, she's just so special. And she reminds all of us that the most important thing for us to be is authentically who we've been created to be. We don't fit in a box because the divine doesn't fit in a box. And the way that Donna lives her life is such a beautiful example of what happens when we allow ourselves to really follow the thread that God places on our heart, even when it doesn't look conventional. So many times we think that spiritual growth has to look serious or maybe intense, or we need to really focus on it. And sometimes we label the journey of remembering as being even hard. But what Donna really has done such a beautiful job of reminding us in today's conversation is that sometimes the path back to ourselves, it looks like playfulness, curiosity, laughter, tapping into that childlike wonder that we're all born with. And maybe that's part of surrender too, right? It's not just surrendering our fears and our struggles, but really surrendering the tight grip that we have on who we think we're supposed to be and allowing ourselves to soften, to be really present, to drop expectations and allow ourselves to really live from the heart. I'm so grateful, Donna, that you were here with us on this podcast this week. And I really, really appreciate you for bringing so much light and wisdom and your beautiful presence to this conversation. I'm just grateful for you. And to everyone listening, if this conversation resonated with you, I encourage you to take a moment and ask yourself this question: where in my life could I allow a little more play, a little more curiosity, a little more joy? Because sometimes the most powerful thing that we can do on this journey of faith and remembering and becoming is to simply relax into the life that God is inviting us to live in this present moment. Thank you so much for being with me today here on the Daily Surrender. For those of you listening, if you're someone who feels called to go deeper into these conversations and connect with other women who are walking this path of surrender, I want to invite you to the Daily Surrender Circle. This is a sisterhood where we gather to explore the themes that we talk about here on the podcast: faith, healing, embodiment, and learning to trust the divine within us. And if you'd like to be the first to know when the doors open, you can join the waiting list through the link in the show notes here. All of Donna's links are in the show notes below. You can reach her. As she shared, she has such an eclectic business. It's an umbrella, living, laughing, loving. And underneath it, there's just all of her offerings. You can connect with her there. Until next time, my friends, keep showing up, keep listening, and keep practicing the sacred act of daily surrender. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Surrender. If today's episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear your reflections. Send me a message, share this with a friend, or leave a review. Or remember, true healing and freedom come when we let go, surrender, and trust that God's way is so much better than our way. Until next time, my friends, keep surrendering, keep rising, and keep walking in peace.